Hi, everybody. Today's episode is an ongoing series that I'm doing where I look at a lot of my horror movie soundtracks. I collect horror movie soundtracks, and one of my favorites is John Carpenter. John Carpenter has been composing his own scores since his college days at USC, where he did The Resurrection of Bronco Billy, Dark Star, into Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween, Escape from New York, The Fog, and many, many more. So I'm going to take a look at a couple different various versions that I have of John Carpenter's The Fog. Now, the first one I'm going to show is from GZ Media, and it's a picture disc. Now, this is a Sacred Bones release. Now, this picture disc was released by Sacred Bones in 2016. I'm going to take it out of the plastic for you. And it has Assault on Precinct 13 on one side and The Fog on the other side. Now, this is done by John and his two sons, Daniel and Cody Carpenter. And you can find this for about $10. It's not expensive. It's a picture disc. Sacred Bones did a good job. 12-inch single, theme song from The Fog on one side, and theme song from Assault on Precinct 13 on the other side. Now, for a picture disc, sounds pretty good. I think picture discs are getting a lot better than they were in the 70s. But the thing about it is, it came in this PVC plastic. What is the deal with these guys? Why can't the record labels get rid of these things? It's 2025 now, and Mutant just came out with Alien Romulus theme, like an orchestral outtakes. And it came in one of these, and I was like, are you kidding me? I would like to keep my records together. Put it in a jacket, cut a circle out if you want to show the artwork, put your hype sticker on it. She's got a hype sticker. Get it out of this PVC. It off gases and it screws up the vinyl. We have to keep all these PVCs in a box in my closet. It's ridiculous. It's 2025. Newton, are you listening? Spencer, are you listening? What is the deal? Anyways, just put this in your closet and keep it away from your picture disc. And now on to the second version of The Fog. So the copy I'm going to show you next is the Death Waltz. This is the Death Waltz 2013. Runs about $65 if you can find it now. This was a 2-disc set. It's clear with white haze for sides A and B, and clear with green haze for sides C and D. This was licensed from Silva Screen, who holds the UK rights for The Fog. They've also put out their own version, and if I recall correctly, it's a picture of the ghost captain on the cover with his fellows in the church towards the end of the movie. So Silva Screen licensed this to Death Waltz. Now, this was a 700 total copy with 2 variants. This is one of the 2 variants that's available. Now, this was performed by John Carpenter and Dan Wyman, known as the Bowling Green Warren County Chamber Orchestra. John was always naming his orchestras, usually variants of Bowling Green, to be honest with you. Now, this is the original soundtrack on this 2-album set, plus the second disc is movie cues. So it's a heavy tip-on stout jacket, super nice thick jacket, you can see. Super nice thick jacket. Can you see that there? There it is. They did not skimp on quality. Death Waltz is one of the best. And I'd like to say that they continue with Mutant, although I only have one Mutant, and it's the Alien Romulus suite. Now, this is the back of it, and you can see it says Death Waltz recording down here, London, England, UK, and it's got some text from John about the film on it. Let's see if I can kind of get it where you can freeze frame and take a look at all of that. And pause it and read it if you want to, but it's got photos, some text into some photos, and then the credits down there at the bottom. Now, I had this original Versi Sarabande release when I was a kid, and I know the Splattered Plastic gents have looked at that and shown that off. Now, this is the gatefold, and you've got all the tracks and who performed it over here. Basically, it's John Carpenter and Dan Wyman, although there's producer credits. This is from Dinos Chapman, and about kind of walking you through how he designed this jacket and what it kind of means to him. Someday I'll be able to get this perfect, guys. Maybe I can find a copy of this online and show you guys. But no, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And it feels cool to sit there and hold it while you're listening to it. Now, this also came with this insert, which is a screen print. You can kind of, or a copy. Now, I don't think it's screen printed. No, it's not. It's flat. But a nice insert of this goes so you can frame that if you want. Now, when I saw The Fog in '81 at the drive-in, my dad, of course, took me to see The Fog again. I fell in love with this movie. Had the poster, the original movie poster, hanging over my bedroom at one point, my bed in my bedroom, and it just stayed with me. In fact, hold on, let me grab something. See, I started remembering things as soon as I started talking about The Fog. I also have this. This is the novelization. I got this when I was a kid, and it's credited by Dennis Etchison, based on a motion picture written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. And then there's the back of it. Now you can find these on eBay and in used bookstores. This is my copy as a kid, and isn't that great? Isn't that cool? It's got that ghost hand poster, and this really expounds on the script itself. There's much more characterization in this. So if you're a big fan of The Fog like I am, pick that up. Oh, and you know what? See, I got to talking, and I grabbed that book, and then I remembered, man, you know what else? I have this. This is the DVD, and it's what is that there? Scream Factory. This is the Scream Factory DVD. Blu-ray, I should say. And it's got exclusive interviews. Look at that. Look at that artwork. Oh, that's awesome. There's plenty of channels that have reviewed this, but I wanted better copies than the ones that I had, so I popped up to the video store a couple years ago and grabbed this. Isn't that awesome? So it's got a slip cover there. There's the insert, and it's got a booklet and John's signature, and then they had this wraparound inside of it. And then the record, or I should say the Blu-ray. Straighten that out there. There we go. There's the Blu-ray. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. Oh, that's so cool. And when you pop it out, it does have a reversible cover with that original art. And then on the Blu-ray portion, it's got the scene where the ghosts get the newscaster, or the radio, I should say radio guy. One that was always bothering Adrienne Barbeau about the weather. And there's the insert that you can reverse. So you've got that on one side, and then that on the other side. Yeah, like I said, big Fog fan. So yeah, I might as well show that since we're here talking about The Fog. So I have that. And then to get back to the Death Waltz vinyl, there's two vinyls. They come in these polyline sleeves. So if you find a copy, it'll have these polyline sleeves. There is the first disc, side A. And there is side B, just the logo and the Death Waltz logo, but it's got that cool, don't go into the fog. So this is a really good sounding vinyl. GZ did pretty good. It's hit or miss with GZ, but this really sounds pretty cool. Check this out. So this is the second disc. There we go. And then there's the other side there. So you got the floating fog, and you can see it swirled under. Nothing crazy. It's almost better when you get soundtracks, if they don't get too crazy with the vinyl, it can interfere depending on your variant. So having a clear with a subtle color going through that is better than a 90 million splattered. You're adding more into it, in my opinion. You can't say that about everything, but when you do get those pressings that are on glow in the dark or something like that, they cannot sound real great. And that's because of these goofy vinyls and the lack of care going into pressing them. So luck out with that one. Sounds really good. So the next one I've got is The Fog, but this is the waxwork pressing. Now the waxwork pressing is WW067. It's white with blue-green swirl. There's been other releases, color variants of this, but this is white with blue-green swirl. Its lacquers were cut by Telegraph, and it was pressed by Waxworks. They have their own record pressing facility. The album art was Jeremy Paler, and it is a crushing, cool. Look at that. It's pressed by Waxwork, and usually runs about $40. This is a 2020 pressing. I believe it's been repressed since 2020. So this is the back of this. Check this out. Oh my gosh, look at that. How freaking cool is that? Just awesome. Captain Blake there in the church. And I love it when I've actually drawn this. I had designed this stained glass with a ghost hand coming through it to have made into enamel pins, but the project fell through. And I do have those drawings and outlines of that. And wouldn't that make a cool pin? Just the stained glass or stickers even. I should get around and do that, make stickers for it. But yeah, this is the waxwork. Again, nice stout jacket. No bends, no flaws. Now, this is also a gatefold. And yes, again, I'm leaving the shrink on. Convince me otherwise, guys. So, I usually open it and look at it once, but that's it. So, yeah, this is the insert of the gatefold. You can see there the gatefold art. And then this is on a 2 vinyl set. And this is disc 2. Let's look at disc 1 first. Again, not all waxworks seem to come with polyline sleeves. These did. Sometimes I get paper, sometimes I don't. You see the polyline sleeve, which is nice. And then this is the vinyl. Look at that. How cool is that? Again, they all seem to roll with the ghosty swirl kind of. This is the 6 Must Die label on it. And then, like I said, this has got all the tracks on it there. But that's cool when they give you that artwork on the second side, 6 Must Die. So it's a 2-disc set as stated. And so the second LP, same coloration design, but different kind of effect because it's its own individual thing. There is the one side, and on the other side, you get a ghostly pirate, leper pirate. Can I say that? Leper pirate? Look at that. So it's got really cool art. This also sounds fantastic. I'd venture to say this sounds better than the Death Waltz version to me. Ultrasonically cleaned them, played them on my Sansui 838 with the blue Ortofon, Halfer speakers, Adcom 100-watt amp. No fancy cables. And it's just a crushing, cool soundtrack. John Carpenter nailed it. I had an original back in the day, but gave it away. Now they're mad money stupid. But love it. Love the fog like many of us do. Oh, I remembered one more thing. See, these are cutaways. I'm going to remember one thing. I'm going to go grab the thing and then I'm going to cut it back in here. Yeah. I keep finding things. This was also when that was sent to me and I ordered it from Waxwork. This little card was in here. What is this little card, you say? This little card are showing you, they thank you. This is from Rachel. And they thank you for ordering from them. If there's any issues, there's a contact number, which is great. I've only had 2 issues, and they fixed both of them. Great company. Can't say enough about them. Ordered an album today. They are starting a fall sale, and you can get a lot of stuff on sale. So they had put some restocks up, and I grabbed The Last Man on Earth, which I've wanted. The one that Rob Zombie presents, The Last Man on Earth. I'm going to do a video on its own on that coming up in the next couple of days. Now, this little insert card is super cool. I keep it with the record. And that reminded me when I saw that I had also gotten this. This is from Cavity Colors. And Cavity Colors put out the Fog enamel pin. And it's got really cool art on it. And there's the back of it. Told you, I'm a Fog fan. And then I often put them on my denim jackets, or sometimes I put them on my hoodies when I wear them to work. You can see it there. And then there is the back of it. It says Cavity Colors? Yeah, Cavity Colors. So Cavity Colors put this out, and it's super cool. Oh, let me show you the backer card. This is the backer card without. This way, Chris. There it is. Without the pin on it. So it's got that ghost shape on it. And then the pin, when you want to put it on your enamel board, looks like that. I have a cork board with a lot of enamel pins on it. And maybe I'll do a cutaway there. I remembered I had that. So the reason I was talking about the fog reminds me about this record. Okay, now, so The Fog is a synthesizer score. John Carpenter's known for his synthesizer scores, and that is exactly what either copy of The Fog, even the picture disc Fog, the theme song to this, synthesizer heavy, repetition, just like the Halloween theme that we all know, synthesizer heavy. So if you like John Carpenter, this is a no-brainer. This is a good sounding version, as is the Death Waltz, as is the Silva. I don't have the Silva anymore. I sold it, but it's a great score. It's got a ton of tracks, 33 tracks. You can't get a heavier duty version. This and the Death Waltz, wall to wall. I mean, there's always CD, which is great. You can listen to it in the car, but these are what I love to do. So I was thinking about the Fog, and that got to me thinking about this next one. And it's a movie called We Are Still Here, which came out in 2015. This score for We Are Still Here was released in 2020. This is directed by Ted Gagan, who also did Mohawk and Brooklyn 45. Brooklyn 45 and Mohawk both have soundtracks released, so you can see there's a following being developed for this director and the scores in his films. This was a Death Waltz release as well. You can see there, done via Mondo, and has this OBI on it. The back of it says coming soon, Jason versus Freddy, Halloween 6. So this is a couple years old. Also available, Beyond the Gates. I said there was a soundtrack for Beyond the Gates and Tonight She Comes. Both really, really cool soundtracks. Now, he got a Fangoria Chainsaw nomination for this score. And the director did a segment in the ABCs of Death and was actually an actor in Hatchet, Part 3. It's not a huge role, but he's in it. So with Danielle Harris and Kane Hodder. So we are still here. Now here's the thing about this. This score is not this score. This score is repetition, groovy, synthesizer. This score is way more Wendy Carlos, more mood, uh, deep, dark, brooding noises, cling clangs, moans almost, drones, very modern, very avant-garde, very Philip Glass. If you love Philip Glass, it's really out there, man. It's really out there. And if you like it, listen to it, stream it first before you, because not everybody can put this on. It's like that Lou Reed album nobody can listen to. And some people love it. That guy loves it. So, I don't own it. I can't listen to it. On the other hand, I can listen to Front 42 or Ministry, when I'm in the mood. So, yeah, if you love this, check it out online. Check it out. This copy, I think you can find these for $40, $30, 30 and under, definitely 30 and under. Now, there's not a ton of them floating around, but I do believe it got a pretty wide pressing. So track it down if you like horror movies. And the reason I say that is because I feel these movies are connected. These movies, the villains, the bad guys, if you will, in these movies are disrupted ghosts. They're pained ghosts out for revenge. And you've got The Fog, a groove, and you've got We Are Still Here, a mood. And these scores are quite evocative for those reasons. And like I showed you that pin, the ghost pin from Cavity Colors for The Fog, I have one for We Are Still Here. Check this out. It's burned. It's the burned variant. So they did a couple burned variants of this pin when it came out. This pin is marked collectible enamel pin, and I almost don't want to take it off the backing card because it's so fragile, but I will. So it's got a picture of the house and says We Are Still Here. Can you see that there, the house and the logo? And then somebody went at this bad boy with a torch, and that's the collector's edition. In hindsight, was that a good idea? I don't know. But if you've seen the movie, it makes sense. Of course, you could have done it yourself. But anyways, I found that cool. It was like, they only did like 10 of these or something, so I got one. And I can't remember who it was. Might have been Cavity Colors, might have been Creepy. I can't remember. I'm sorry if I forget who you were that did this, but that's it. So this is Dagmar, and Dagmar's story is the first track here. So here's Dagmar. So you can get a pretty good idea of what's going on in this movie if the first track is called Dagmar's Story. What is Dagmar's story? Well, you have to think very much along the lines of The Fog when you've got the prologue by John Houseman where he's telling the story of the Elizabeth Dane and the ghosts and the crashing on the coast. So they're kindred spirits, I feel. I've always felt that. And I did a drawing for the director, Ted, and he saw it online, and I repainted a better version of it for him, where in my head, these two knew each other. The protagonist, Captain Blake from The Fog, and the protagonist, Dagmar from We Are Still Here. And if I can find it, I'll put it here. But I don't know if I have to find a picture of it if I have a picture of it. But anyways, yeah, hopefully I'll insert that here. So that's it for today, guys. Probably went longer than I needed to, but I hope you enjoyed it. Check out my other stuff. Like and subscribe. Leave comments. What's your favorite horror film? Tell me in the comments what's your favorite horror film. Maybe I'll put a poll up and ask you of my favorites, what is your favorite? So anyways, like and subscribe. Leave comments. And as always, waka 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 waka. I gotta do more Pac-Man. More Pac-Man, less Fozzie Bear. Waka 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 waka.